Thanks for joining us for Khari Free at Last on Bounce 23 TV. I'm Khari Inaharo. What's happening to the institution of marriage? Rates of marriage are at an all-time low. Are Americans choosing delay? Or is it a war being declared on marriage as we know it? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow and marriage author Reverend Mark Hampton. Reverend, is there a war being declared on marriage? Or people just simply saying, well, you know, I'll do it when I'm 65, but right now I don't want to do it. I don't want to be tied down. What's up with this?
Well, you have to understand that there's been such a breakdown of the family that the model for marriage has been evaporated from our culture for so long.
What do you mean model for marriage?
The historic model of marriage.
One man, one woman?
One man, one woman. And so the historical model for marriage has almost evaporated from our culture, and it's been gone for so long that we don't even know what a marriage is supposed to look like.
Now, that's real intellectual, Doc, but that's not, come on now, you can do better than that. Why aren't people trying to, well, you know, what's the purpose, Earth? I mean,
Mark didn't tell the truth, did he?
No,
I did tell the truth.
He went the long way around.
It's the value of marriage, and I
What do you mean value?
You good? You
Yes,
good?
you did. Yes, you
cut
did.
you off.
Yeah, you did.
It is the value for marriage that has almost evaporated from our culture.
Meaning?
So, meaning that we don't understand the purpose for marriage, the value that it brings to life, and the impact that it has on our culture.
So why should I get married?
You should get married, number one. Okay, now you caused me to go into my
Oh, well,
my
it doesn't matter. Go there, go there.
You should be married, number one, first as a man. It's not good for a man to be alone. Number two, and men don't do well alone.
I haven't
We all
figured
know
that one out yet. I haven't figured that out yet. I don't know what that means, but anyway, keep going.
And then number two, to populate and procreate in this earth and bring substance to your life.
Well, you
and
can
a target
populate
and a meaning
Oh,
to
You
your
can
life.
populate and procreate
No,
without
what I'm saying,
marriage.
no, not profitably.
Huh?
All right, not
Yeah.
profitably.
What's that mean?
What I mean by that is keeping the family structure intact with a mother and a father.
Because children deserve to come home to both parents.
Absolutely.
Well, if both parents are there and they're functioning well and they're getting along, they're just not married, they may have property in their names, they may have set up life insurance in their names, but they're not married. What's wrong with that?
Well, let me go biblical. Every woman.
You?
Yeah, I have to sometimes. Okay?
Whoa.
But the good book says that whoever the woman is sleeping with becomes her husband. So if you are in that type of relationship, yes, you are married. But at the same time, what I'm finding within marriage today is people don't, you got your own set of problems, and then you want to not fix those problems, and then you want to go into a relationship and bring somebody else into, you know, a relationship,
why
a
should I get
union with
married?
you,
Now,
and you
Mark-
haven't dealt with your issues.
Okay, now Mark says, Reverend says that it's not good for a man to be alone.
It's not, but
Is
you
it
need to be
good
a
for
whole man
Is it?
and a whole woman before you get together, because you get with
Absolutely.
your partner, he doesn't make you whole, or she doesn't make you whole. You should already be whole before you get to the altar.
So why do we
Absolutely.
need marriage? Why can't just people come together and live a good life and treat each other with decency and all that kind of stuff?
Because under
Respect.
the laws, you don't, if you're not married, then you don't get the benefits from the law, like that person's retirement or that
Absolutely.
person's, you know, SSI benefits and things like that.
Oh, that's not true. If a person designates that you are the person when they die that gets that retirement, you can get it. So I don't know what
Nah,
you're talking
I don't-
about.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
Here's the 800-pound gorilla in the room. The 800-pound gorilla is this. We know that marriage works. We know that
It
it
can
works,
work.
and it works for our kids, and it works for our community. Now, the issue
Apparently
is...
it's not working.
No, here's the
The
deal.
divorce rate is as high as it's ever been in the history of this country. Marriage rate is at an all-time low, so apparently marriage is not working.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Maybe for a select few.
Let me ask you a question. Well, because here's the issue. The reason why it's not working in that general context is because people don't often know the purpose for marriage.
Well,
And
good point.
they
What
don't-
is the purpose?
The purpose for marriage is really to keep one balanced and targeted in their life. That is the purpose.
You mean tell me if you don't get married, you mean tell me if you don't get married, you go crazy?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's
at all.
what you implied.
What I'm saying is society as a whole does better when families are intact. Now, let me show you something. You know what the first agenda of a freed black slave was?
What?
To get
The
married.
first thing they did was get married. Because they understood that we can't build our community if we don't have whole relationship? How can I,
You buy that, Irv.
how can I relate to the community in whole when I am fractured?
You buy that, Irv.
Well, you know what? He's just said he's fractured. And what I'm finding is...
he said if you ain't married,
if
you're
not
crazy.
married, well,
that's what he said. He ain't fooling nobody.
I think you're fractured before you are getting to the altar. And what I'm finding is that people need to deal with their past pains and hurts from childhood and so forth before taking on a whole nother person.
I still say don't nobody want to get married. Up next on Khari Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari Free at Last on Bounce 23 TV. Every ethnic group has seen a drop in marriage, but black women have the lowest rate of marriage. Most will never be married. Why? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Irv Jallow and marriage author Reverend Mark Hampton. Irv.
Yes.
Black women are not getting married. They have the lowest marriage rate of any group in the world. Most of them will never be married. Why?
We have the biggest...
I hate to repeat that, but I need to.
You need to, okay? We're stressed out. As a group of women, we have different stressors from everybody else. We're taking care of home, we're taking care of the children, we're holding down 2 or 3 jobs, trying to go to school. And so that creates dis-ease and discomfort in the body. So then by the time a brother comes along and says, you know, okay, let me help you out, she doesn't need him. She's done it. She's got her house, she's got her car, she's got, you know, her degree. So she doesn't make the man feel as if he is needed by her. We were raised, as Donnella Martin Braddock says, to be single women. Our mothers tell us from an early age, you have your own car, you have your own place, you
your
get
mama
you a degree.
told you that you don't need a man?
You don't, when a man comes, then, you know, all right, but you don't need him because you've already set and established yourself.
Is that
so
true?
When you, yeah, so of course.
Reverend Hampton, is that true?
Well, it's true, but it's the challenge. And what I mean by that is this. Men and women do need each other.
Yes, we do.
And they are better when they're together rather than when they're apart. Now, there has to be some
black women say, many black women, not all, many black women say, I don't need no man. Well, I mean, we hear that all the time. Do we not?
Yes, we do, but that's
where is that
not,
coming from?
That's not actually factual, though. That is based on a feeling in a moment, et cetera, et cetera. Now, let me just put some data behind this. In 1962, the year I was born, only 13% of black women black children, rather, were born to a single mother.
Right.
Now that number is well over 72%.
Yeah, almost 75%.
All right. So the question that we must ask ourselves is look at the black family in 1962 and ask yourself this question: what shape were we in? We can conclude very easily that we were in better shape then.
So why aren't black women getting married?
Black women are not getting married due largely in part to what they've been taught. Okay.
And you're the marriage counselor. Why aren't they getting married?
Largely in part to what they've been taught, that they can do it by themselves, number one. Number two, that there is a host of black men who are not meeting the standard for marriage. And women and black women are saying, black women are saying, I am not going to drop my standards because you're not prepared.
And to piggyback off of that, though.
What about black men? What are black women offering black men that makes them want to marry them?
Well, you
don't lie. Come straight.
I'm the Reverend.
All right,
I can't lie.
That's what I'm saying. Be
look,
straight.
if Abe can't lie, I can't lie. Okay.
You mean George Washington? Okay. Got your history wrong.
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
I get it wrong. Okay.
All right.
Whoever.
So my point here is this: black men can make similar decisions, but the fact of the matter is that if we look at where black men are and where black women are from an achievement perspective in life,
meaning
we're not.
Oh no, not true.
We're not meeting up. Well, then you know that more black women are going to college than black men.
Yes.
You know that the income levels of black women is on the rise.
But hold on.
So they're prepared.
Hold on for a minute. The average net worth of black females, unmarried, no, don't stop me. Unmarried is $5 in 2007.
I know what
you're talking about. So that means it's probably derogatory now. But when they get married, their average net worth goes up to almost $25,000 to $30,000. So it would appear to me that black men are the ones that are the catch. So are black women preparing themselves for a black woman? I mean, for a black man, huh?
You asked that question, and I wanted to interject a little earlier. And my thing is this: when black women are describing their ideal mate, he makes 6, 7 figures, he's this, he looks like this, he got a body like this.
But they don't want the garbage,
but wait a minute, they're not even describing the average black man, they're describing a white man. Period, flat out. How many black brothers you know making 6, 7 figures?
Right, very few.
Absolutely, and the ones who are not marrying us.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to take that into consideration. So they won't do the janitor. If I'm a lawyer, then most black women's mentality is, well, he's a janitor. He's beneath me. I'm not gonna, marry him.
So what do they need to change in order to get a man?
The mentality needs to change. We need to know our place as women.
Meaning what?
Meaning we need to know being what submissive. Isn't that the word that you like to use? Being submissive. Knowing what your role is as a woman.
Absolutely.
It is to uplift the man. It is to encourage the man. It is to, if he don't have a job, let's get the newspaper and sit down on Sunday, baby. Here, that looks like it's good for you.
There it is.
Wait a minute. Women would say that's very chauvinistic.
Well,
they would say that's very discriminatory. You're trying to keep women suppressed. What are you talking about?
No, that's a value set that has been lost.
What do you mean?
She's talking about
women
the value.
Women are supposed to be submissive, subservient to
I
men?
like being submissive.
What do you mean?
No, what I'm saying, it's a value set that has been lost. There's nothing wrong with being submissive to a man who's well engaged in his family. And the man is also submissive to the marriage in
Who's head of the household?
The man is head of the household. He's the ultimate responsible.
Why?
He's the protector.
Simple. You ever heard of this guy named Adam? That's the guy who was created first. That was the guy who was responsible for the whole.
I can't go for that.
So I'm just being
know.
Wait a minute, why should the man be head of the household?
Because he's the protector. He is the one who is the provider. Of that household.
He's the responsible one.
Well, not even just the responsible one, because the woman is very responsible because she's raising your children. She's raising your children, so she better be responsible.
Absolutely.
But he is the protector of his family, of his children, of that home.
Agreed.
But the black household is all out of sorts then.
Absolutely.
Because black men are not in the household protecting.
The ecology of the home has been disrupted
by
a culture that really deifies being single.
Is there a conspiracy to destroy black marriages?
I'll put it to you this way.
Is there a concerted effort?
There's a lack of intent on black people to come together and be married. Now, let me just say this.
So you're gonna blame the victim?
No, here's my point. There's just some real cognitive reasons why you want to, and common sense reasons why you want to get married. If I'm struggling making $15,000 a year, okay, and I live in urban America, and I'm a female, and I hook up with a brother who also makes $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 a year, when we come together in marriage, now we make $30-something thousand a year. And guess what? That will exponentially make my life better.
How do we minimize the conflict so we could stay together? How do we do that?
We have to unpack the mindset. The mindset that, first of all, marriage is not something to be, it is not the apex of life. Listen, marriage is the apex of life. If you can get married and keep that family intact and produce generational wealth, you're better off.
And that's fine.
But a lot of women feel that men try to control them.
But before you
Is that a problem?
It's the mentality. It's the mentality. And before you get to the altar, you have to deal with everything that you had in your childhood. Get some counseling. Get to know who you are before you go and interrupt somebody else's life.
There it is.
Is marriage obsolete? Up next on Khari, Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari, Free at Last. The Pew Research Center says that 4 in 10 Americans believe marriage is obsolete. Is the system of marriage broken and outdated? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow and marriage author Reverend Mark Hampton. 4 in 10. That's probably more like 5 because probably the other 2 were lying, so it might be as much as 6 and 10. Look, is marriage obsolete?
Absolutely not.
Has it outlived its usefulness?
Are you kidding?
No, I'm serious.
No.
You got all these people saying it's obsolete.
How can it be obsolete? Okay, look at, again, I'll go back to what we talked about in an earlier segment. In 1962, marriages were more together than they are today. Now, if you look at how the trajectory of our children back in that time period, and trajectory of the children today that come from relationships between man and woman.
I got you. But black males obviously feel, Earth, that marriage is obsolete because they're not wanting to do it. You've got the lowest marriage rate in the world. Black men ain't trying to get married. They're running from it. So they feel that that model is obsolete. It's akin to like a slave kind of thing. Are they correct or incorrect?
I think that the men are starting to feel as if the women don't need them, so they're marrying outside of the race, period.
If they're marrying at all.
If they're marrying at all, but a lot of them are marrying, they're just not marrying us. We have to deal with this, ladies, that they're not marrying us. They are getting married. They're just not marrying black women. So we have to stop and take a look at ourselves and, as black women.
Is the model of marriage outdated and obsolete?
I think the model...
Are there other models that we could look at? Now,
Absolutely.
I'm going to say this, Reverend,
okay,
and it could be a curse put on me for saying it. But is it time to look at polygamy as a model? Revise it, fix it up. I'm not saying we should. Don't you roll your eyes.
I can't believe he just asked me that
Well,
question.
but polygamy is in the Bible. Abraham and a few others had more than one wife.
Models?
Okay.
Huh? Maybe it's not outdated.
No.
Maybe not polygamy, but something where there's some adjustments made. Open marriage, I don't know. Is there time for another model?
Absolutely not, Khari. Every society that's ever tried it has drastically and miserably failed.
What
Sodom and Gomorrah, et cetera, et cetera. Now, just I'm the Reverend, so you just need to...
Well, then you tell me how to fix it. Something is obviously wrong when 4 or maybe 6, 10 out of Americans say it's obsolete. Something is wrong with that current system, Reverend. How do we fix it?
That doesn't surprise me, first of all. It is the issue of our value systems being drastically overhauled by a me mentality that says I can have anything I want, I can do anything I want, and I'm not accountable to anyone. So therefore, when you live in a society that does that, and people who think that way, then the morality of the society is going to be, out of sorts.
It's not 1 in 10.
Can you take
It's not 2 in 10.
Okay.
It's almost 50%, maybe 60% of Americans are saying, wait a minute, are saying this is obsolete. You're you're living in a world of fantasy.
No,
you're not facing reality. Isn't he living in a world of fantasy?
So what you're telling me is, when I know what is right...
I'm telling you the model doesn't work, obviously. Especially in the African-American community. And all you're doing is saying we got to continue the same model doesn't work.
No.
I need you to be creative and come up with something different.
Was the civil rights movement created by people who were not married or people who were married? Well, every great thing that we've ever done... No, here's my point. Every great thing that we've ever done as a people, we've done it together. When we have gone our separate ways, we have miserably failed every single time, and you know that.
And marriage, be in marriage, can't you?
You can be together without being married, Mark. You really can, because again, your book says that anybody
it's not my book.
Well, anybody that a female sleeps with becomes her husband. We are internal creatures, and that's a fact. Changing this mentality has to go. You know, there was polygamy in the Bible.
Absolutely.
It still works in some areas of Africa. It works.
Mark just
it can't procreate. That's the issue.
Who can't procreate?
Polygamy.
Yeah, you procreate a whole lot of little children in polygamy.
Well,
a whole lot of children.
Well, there are arguments for it and arguments against it. One argument is obviously economics.
That's a better, and you do that because your economic base is going to be better.
Do we need new models?
I think we do.
Something is broken with the one we've got. Let's face it.
Well, you said something's broken with the one.
You know what Einstein said about insanity, didn't you? He said doing the same thing over,
But he also said this. He said the amount of thought that it took you to get in a problem, it takes you a greater amount of thought to get out of that problem.
And that's what I want you to do. I want you to tell me, how do we deal with a broken system? It's obviously broken.
I know how.
Something is wrong. How do we repair it? And don't give me this ecclesiastical. I mean, it's all right to be, but not now. Tell me quickly, how do we repair this thing?
Number one, we're going to have to go back to love. You got to start there. And when you love yourself, you can love somebody else.
Define love.
Love is selflessly giving. No, it's simply selflessly giving something away.
That's charity.
Without merit. Watch this. Without merit of what the other person has done. So in other words, I can love you just because I choose to love you, no matter how you perform. I choose to love you.
Is that real, Earth?
It's
well,
real.
You know what? After a while.
Do you love your children?
Yeah, but
course.
even they make you mad.
Yeah, they
If you want to fix this, we have to start raising our little black girls with the idea like the little white girls are being raised. They dream about their weddings from 2, 3, 4 years old. But we are being told and taught that you have to get your own. You have to get your own house, get your own car. And we are being taught...
But why are we being taught
But listen
that?
to me. We are being taught independence. Independence means solo. It means one. It means alone.
But why are we being taught
Instead
that?
of being
So black
taught
women are being taught
interdependent.
to kick their man to the curb?
We
or
are
no?
being
Is
taught
what
that
you're telling me?
because from my perspective, we are eliminating the man.
I don't think you're eliminating the man. I think you're being taught that because of the harsh reality that black men have not stepped up to be the choice for a husband, to be a choice for a lifelong companion.
That's
the issue.
That's an
Khari,
indictment.
If you give them a chance, if we step up, they're going to choose us.
We
They
are
have
being-
tried to step up.
we are
It's a
being
system
taught
that does
this.
not work for them.
But we are being
I disagree.
taught.
Oh, well,
We are being taught by our mothers.
It's working for
the numbers
me.
say you're wrong.
We're being taught
It's
by
working
our
for me.
mothers, and we have to take back and look at this, Mark. Our mothers have been scorned by fathers. They're angry
All
with
right,
the
I
men.
got one question I want to ask. What is marriage? Up next on Khari, Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari, Free at Last. Have movements like same-sex marriage and open marriages destroyed or redefined marriage in the year 2013? What is marriage? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Irv Jallow and marriage author Reverend Mark Hampton. Reverend, same-sex marriage. I'm confused. What is marriage?
Marriage is the relationship between a man and a woman.
Uh-oh, watch out. Watch out, Supreme
Flat
Court.
out.
Supreme Court. Supreme
I
Court
could
disagree
care
with
less.
you.
It's not actually the Supreme Court, it's the extreme court.
Oh, funny.
Marriage is a relationship between a man and a woman, and marriage produces
So you
children.
don't buy same-sex marriage?
No, I do not.
Why?
Because it can't produce children.
Well,
Don't
they
you
are
think that's
adopted.
discriminatory?
No, you have to ask God about that.
But they're adopted,
I'm asking
Mark.
you.
Well, I didn't create humanity, God did, so I'm going by him. He's the guy that has the rule book.
So you're against it?
Am I against
Same-sex marriage?
what I'm saying is this.
No. Don't slide like James Brown. Are you against it? For it or against it?
I'm against same-sex marriage
What
for
about
this
you,
reason.
Irv? Are you
Why
against
I
it?
gotta
Okay,
get
go
in
ahead.
this? Okay.
Because you in it.
Wow, Khari, man.
No, just answer the question, yes or no.
I think people should be free to marry who they want.
Oh, so you're for it?
I'm for what? 2 grown adults, you do what you do.
All right, give me a definition of marriage then.
Marriage for me is a contract. It is a business. Marriage is a business.
See, that's a transaction.
Ain't
That's
no
not
love
a
in that?
relationship.
Hey, let me tell y'all something. You come
That's the
together.
problem.
You come together with somebody that you are going to grow with. You run your house like
So you
a
don't
business.
have a problem with 2 men being married?
That's not my business.
2 women? No, it is your business.
How's it my business?
Because I asked you a question. Answer it. You're trying to
I
slide.
think-
You're scared. She's scared.
I think
Anyway.
that the marriage is between a male and a female.
Now, wait a minute now. I'm confused. Which is it?
A marriage in the traditional sense is between a male and a female.
What about in the non-traditional sense?
Non-traditional sense, then you can marry anything and
called a
anybody you want.
deviation.
What she doing is sliding all
No,
over the place.
I said what I felt. A male and a female.
Yeah.
You said that men should only marry women. That's marriage. Why? You was getting ready to define it. Why?
Because it procreates and it creates civility in the community. You can't have a whole society. First of all, if all men marry each other,
What would happen?
well,
What would it look like?
We would reduce our population,
Please
number
don't.
That's
one.
number one.
Okay.
Number two.
Number two, if you look at the life expectancies for those types of marriages, the life expectancy is lower.
Was the Supreme Court wrong in their decision?
You mean the extreme court?
Well, just answer the question.
Yeah, they were wrong. They were absolutely wrong.
Why?
Because number one, if you go back, if you look at how this country was formed and you go back to the Constitution, which is a document that most Americans really don't know about, we know what it did for us and we know it got started, but when you go back and you look at it from a historical context, it's a complete deviation from
Right.
America's
Has it
founding.
helped or hurt marriage in this country?
I don't think it's helped or hurted marriage in this country. I just think what people have done is they have just simply
bent the rules to suit their situation.
What is the effect in the African American community?
Well, it's bad because now you have a lot of young people, you know, who don't want to get married. They're saying that they don't want to get married because they're looking at their parents' marriage, they're looking at the failed marriage, they're afraid. So,
Are they going into homosexual relationships?
A lot of our young people are.
And what effect will that have?
That will have a long-term effect, especially if if it's a decision that you've made and come to find out later on you're not, and you've already had kids and now children, and you already had the children, and now they're into this situation. Now, I feel as if you are confusing that young mind.
Absolutely.
My goodness, thank you. I appreciate it. Mark, closing comments. What is marriage to you?
Marriage is a relationship between a man and a woman for the purpose of procreating in the earth. Also, bringing civility to the community. And when you don't have those things in place, you get the chaos of what we have today, young boys and young girls who don't have mothers and fathers to guide them.
Thanks to Talktainment Radio show host Irv Jallow and marriage author Reverend Mark Hampton. And thank you for watching Khari, Free at Last.